Welcome back to the BrainByte.
Great to be back.
So today we're jumping back into Mel Robbins' The Let Them Theory, specifically looking at chapters 13 through 16.
Yeah, picking up where we left off. Lots of interesting stuff in these chapters.
Absolutely. We're going to unpack ideas about like making really good friends, the whole tricky business of motivating people.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
And influence versus control, too.
Right. And also this really important idea about rescuing people maybe when it's not actually helpful.
The counterintuitive stuff.
Exactly. We've got the book right here, published by Hay House, and, the plan is to pull out the key nuggets for you, the learner.
To give you some practical takeaways, really, how these ideas might actually work in your life.
Without making it too overwhelming.
Okay,
so Chapter 13, it kicks off with friendships.
It does, and it starts right away with loneliness.
Yeah.
Robbins points out how those big life changes, moving, breakups, new jobs, they can really stir up that lonely feeling.
It's true. Your whole structure gets kind of shaken up.
Yeah, your usual go-to people might not be right there anymore.
And it's easy to just expect friendships to, magically appear.
Right. But she shares this great advice she gave her daughter heading off to college. Give it a year.
I loved that. Such a good reminder.
It really is. It highlights that building real, solid connections, well, it just takes time.
Yeah, it's not instant. She even had to remind herself of that when she moved.
It's true for all of us, isn't it? We want things fast, but relationships need that time to, settle and grow.
Shared history, shared experiences.
Exactly. Consistency, letting things unfold a bit.
And that connects to the next point, this habit of going first, being proactive.
That's key. Not just waiting to be included.
Right. Being the one to say hello, start the chat, maybe suggest grabbing coffee or whatever.
And she talks about doing this herself, right? Making new friends in her 50s.
Yeah, like meeting Gregory and Jordan in the coffee shop.
Oh, yeah. The podcasting and psychology folks.
And David, too. It shows you can actually do something about making friends.
It's empowering, isn't it? Instead of feeling like a passive bystander in your own social life.
Totally. It puts you back in the driver's seat, even if it feels a bit vulnerable at first.
Definitely. And the fact she did it later in life, well, it shows it's never too late,
For sure. Then Chapter 13 brings in this idea, the great scattering.
Ah, yes. Building on the last deep dive where we talked about friendships fading.
Exactly. It's about how adult friendships naturally change because, life changes. Proximity, timing, energy levels.
It's often not some big drama, is it?
No, not usually. Just sort of a natural drifting apart as lives go in different directions.
And understanding that great scattering idea can help you take it less personally, maybe.
Yeah, see it as a normal part of life rather than like a rejection.
People get busy, priorities shift. It happens.
Okay, so then same chapter, but a big pivot, motivating other people.
Oh boy, the tricky zone.
We've all been there, haven't we? Thinking, why doesn't he just exercise? Or she should really get a new job.
It seems so simple from the outside looking in.
Totally. We see the solution, or what we think is the solution.
But we often miss what's going on internally for that person. The fear, the habit, the effort involved.
And that's her point, isn't it? Change is actually really hard.
Yeah. Like getting up early consistently or quitting something you always do. It takes effort.
It's not just flicking a switch. If it were that easy.
We'd probably already be doing it.
Exactly. There are reasons, often hidden ones, why they aren't.
Underlying stuff we just don't see. It involves discomfort, pushing boundaries.
And then there's this other interesting bit. Every person thinks they're the exception.
Yeah. That rings true.
This feeling that, those general rules or advice, they don't really apply to my unique situation.
We all kind of feel special, right? Our circumstances are different, so external pressure just bounces off sometimes.
It's like a built-in resistance mechanism.
It is. We filter everything through our own lens.
And finally, Chapter 13 wraps this section up talking about the control battle.
Right. What happens when you push too hard?
Yeah. She brings in Dr. Sherritt here, talking about how pushing people often backfires because we all have this deep need for, autonomy.
We hate feeling controlled. It's fundamental.
So even if the change is good, the pushing makes us resist.
Exactly. It becomes about who's in charge, not about the change itself. You're fighting their sense of self-determination.
Which is a perfect lead-in to Chapter 14.
Where the big message is, people only change when they feel like it.
Bingo. It has to come from inside. Intrinsic motivation.
You just can't force genuine, lasting change onto someone if they aren't there yet internally.
So your role isn't to push.
No, it's more about understanding, maybe gently nurturing that internal spark if it's there.
And one way to do that, she suggests, is through modeling, using Dr. Sherritt's idea of social contagion.
The power of example.
Yeah, like the coworker who starts walking every day and then someone else sees it and thinks, huh, maybe I could do that.
It makes it seem more possible, more normal, maybe even desirable when you see someone else doing it consistently.
Seeing is believing, kind of.
Yeah, it lowers the mental barrier a bit.
Okay, so then this chapter gives us a tool, the ABC loop for influencing change.
Right, a practical framework.
So A is apologize, then ask open-ended questions.
This is crucial. First, own up if you've been judgmental before.
Yeah, clear the air, say sorry for pushing, maybe.
And then ask questions with real curiosity, not why don't you just purr us, but more like, help me understand what's going on for you.
She mentions the 5 whys technique here.
Yeah, digging deeper. Like with the friend worried about her husband's health, asking why, then why again to get to the root concern.
It's about understanding their world, not imposing yours, lowers their defenses.
It creates a safer space for a real conversation. It's not an interrogation.
Okay, then be in the loop. Back off and observe their behavior.
The hard part sometimes. Give them space.
Let them breathe. Let that internal motivation, if it's going to actually develop.
Exactly. After you've opened the door with understanding, you got to step back. Constant nagging doesn't help.
Just watch what they do, not just what they say. Their actions tell the real story.
See if anything shifts organically.
And then C is for celebrate progress while you continue to model the change.
Positive reinforcement. Our brains love that.
Yeah, even tiny steps forward. Acknowledge them. Make it feel good.
It strengthens that new pathway.
Yeah.
Creates a positive vibe around the change.
And keep doing the thing yourself, right? Keep modeling it.
Absolutely. Reinforces that it's doable, it's valuable, walk the talk.
So chapter 15 then really just doubles down on this idea, doesn't it? That real power is influence, not control.
Exactly. It ties it all together. Influence respects autonomy.
It works with their internal motivation, not against it.
It's about empowering them, not overpowering them.
Right.
Much more sustainable.
And the ABC loop is presented as like the practical how-to for that kind of influence.
Yeah, it gives you steps. Understand, give space, reinforce positively. It's a partnership approach.
Not a dictatorship.
Definitely not.
All right, so that brings us to the last chapter we're covering today, chapter 16. And wow, that title, The More You Rescue, the More They Sink.
Yeah, that one hits hard. It's a tough reality check.
It addresses that really difficult situation where someone you love is struggling, maybe seriously.
Mental health, addiction, things like that.
And no matter how much you want them to get better, they just aren't ready or maybe aren't able.
And our instinct is just jump in, fix it, make it better.
Of course. But the book argues that constant rescuing can actually backfire.
Right. It can stop them from developing their own strength, their own coping skills.
You can't want their recovery more than they do. That's a powerful line.
It really is. Because if you're always swooping in to fix the mess,
they never learn how to clean it up themselves.
Or, more importantly, they don't feel the need to learn because you're always there.
Yeah.
You rob them of that learning opportunity.
And sometimes that learning comes from tough consequences, right? She brings in Dr. Waldinger here.
The idea of letting people experience the natural results of their actions.
Even if it's painful, like maybe legal trouble or losing a job, sounds harsh.
It does sound harsh.
Right.
But sometimes that reality check is the only thing that cuts through. It can be the catalyst external pressure never achieves.
It's tough love, in a way.
A very specific, difficult kind of love.
Yeah.
Letting consequences be the teacher.
And then Dr. Marquis talks about avoidance being such a common coping mechanism.
Oh, yeah. When things are hard, we naturally want to avoid the discomfort.
And Robbins shares that really personal story about her daughter's anxiety.
Letting her sleep on their floor.
Yeah. Trying to ease the immediate fear, but actually reinforcing the avoidance, making it worse long term.
Such a relatable example of how good intentions can go wrong. You think you're helping, but you're actually enabling the pattern.
So what's the alternative? The chapter talks about supporting without rescuing.
That's the crucial distinction.
Being there, offering belief, saying, I know you can handle this.
But not removing the challenge for them.
Like when she started walking her daughter back to her own room. Still supportive, but not letting avoidance win.
It's like being a safety net they know is there, but letting them walk the tightrope themselves. You believe in their ability to find their balance.
It builds their competence, their resilience.
Exactly. It communicates faith in them rather than communicating, you can't handle this, let me fix it.
And sometimes that support involves setting clear boundaries, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. Especially, say, with adult kids and financial dependence.
You need clear conditions, clear consequences if those aren't met. Protects everyone.
Boundaries are healthy. They prevent enabling and resentment from building up. It's about respect, really.
And she contrasts that enabling type of help with the true support she got during her postpartum depression.
Right. Friends and family showing up, cleaning, just being there.
Offering practical help, company, gentle encouragement, not trying to fix her feelings or take over.
That's it. Practical help, empathetic presence, unwavering belief. Being with them in the struggle, not taking the struggle away.
Such a key difference. And the chapter ends on this really lovely idea: borrowing belief.
So powerful.
When someone has lost faith in themselves, your belief in their ability to get better can be like a lifeline.
It really can. It's like you hold that hope for them, that confidence in their strength, until they're ready to hold it themselves again.
It's an external source of strength they can lean on.
Yeah, it can genuinely empower someone to take those first really hard steps.
Wow. So, okay, we covered a lot there from just those 4 chapters.
We really did. From friendships to motivation, influence, and this whole complex idea of helping versus rescuing.
Yeah, some big takeaways, like being intentional about friendships, not passive.
Right. And remembering that real change starts inside the person.
You can influence maybe through modeling and asking good questions.
But you can't force it. And knowing when helping actually hinders growth.
That rescuing paradox.
Exactly.
So maybe something for you, the listener, to think about: how do these ideas resonate? Where could you apply them?
Are you trying to push someone who isn't ready? Could you go first more in friendships?
Or maybe recognize where you might be rescuing when true support, allowing consequences, might be better.
Yeah, lots to mull over. And of course, this is just our dive into these chapters.
The book itself, The Let Them Theory, obviously goes much deeper. We definitely encourage you to check it out.
Keep thinking about that whole let them plus let me framework. How letting others be might free you up too.
Maybe consider this. If you stopped trying so hard to manage or change someone else, what energy would that free up for your own growth, your own journey? Something to think about. Okay, that's all the time we have. Don't forget to subscribe to BrainByte for bite-sized book summaries, useful knowledge, and fresh book updates. Thanks for watching.